know it ain't minute like 6 though. Never need an intro. Yeah, even through the talk and all the chatter, I can show them that I know my family matters like a Winslow. Outdoors smoking Indo.
And welcome back to another NFL 2022-2023 predictions video. And today we are looking at the NFC West. One of the better divisions in football. You know, you got the Rams, or really the Super Bowl champs. The Niners, a team that's always sneaky good every year, somehow always sneaks into that 7th spot, that 6th spot in the playoffs. And the Cardinals, who have gotten better as the years have progressed since Kyler Murray entered the league. And of course, then you got the Seahawks. But, you know, the Seahawks they can be sneaky good as well, even after the loss of Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner and a lot of other players. But we're going to get into that. So just sit back, relax, and let's go over the NFC West. To start off this video, we will be looking at the Los Angeles Rams, your Super Bowl defending champions from the 2021-2022 season, my bad. There's not much to say about this team. Fuck them draft picks, what they say. That's exactly what they say. But this team really somehow got better. You know, they went and got Allen Robinson. Really, really great wide receiver. In a better situation now. You know, he was playing with Blake Bortles in Jacksonville, and then he was playing with Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles in Chicago. He had Justin Fields, Andy Dalton for a little bit. But what good did that actually do him? He wanted to go somewhere that he'll actually be able to compete for a playoff spot, compete maybe to get back to the Super Bowl. And there's really not much. Like I said, that's the only reason why they went and got him. Pair him up with Cooper Kupp, Triple Crown champion, Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp, who is going to be amazing again this next year. You know, you gave up Robert Woods for, you know, a 6th round pick, I believe, but with the addition of with Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, that's already deadly enough. And then you got Van Jefferson coming in at your 3rd, who's really a decent to good player in my opinion. I love Van Jefferson. I love the way he plays. And then of course, you know, you got your ground game and Cam Akers, who did have a little bit of a fumble problem last year. Let's be real. You know, he missed most of the year, Achilles tear. Comes back for the playoffs, he looks good. And then in that divisional game against the Buccaneers, you know, he started fumbling a little bit. And it got a little concerning because we're like, but you know, we can't really fault him. He didn't really play all year. It was his first few games back. Nonetheless, he still helped this team get to the Super Bowl at the end of the day. Matthew Stafford, he's a little on the older side now. But, you know, he can still throw. I know he was having troubles at training camp earlier today as I'm recording this about tendonitis or something. So he's going to be limited in training camp. But, of course, you know, we all know he'll be ready to go by week 1. It's not really too concerning with this team. Like I said, they somehow managed to get a little better. And, of course, you know, their defense is insanely good, as always. First of all, you got the biggest problem in the NFL in Aaron Donald on the line. Nobody wants to stand in front of that man at all. I mean, I'd be scared too if I had to. Man's huge. You got the best cornerback in the league and he's been the best cornerback in the league for the past few years, in Jalen Ramsey. You can put him on anybody, he's going to clamp him up. It doesn't matter who it is. It's clamps. Anyways, then you go and get Bobby Wagner, a great leader in the middle of the field. The Seahawks messed up. And he only chose the Rams to go play the Seahawks. What the hell? This team just got a whole lot better. And I'm pretty sure they're not done. I'm pretty sure they're going to find a way to go out and get more people and add more to this roster. I wouldn't be surprised if Odell came back to the Rams. This is my opinion. I know he wants his money. But golly, what is going on here? And like I said, the Rams didn't make much moves because they didn't really have to. They didn't have to. They didn't need to draft. They gave up most of their picks. They did have Von Miller for a little bit. They ended up losing him to free agency. He went to Buffalo on a 6-year, $140 million deal. But he still helped them win that Super Bowl. So, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams started giving up a little bit more for a little bit more few key pieces in this on this team, this great team, who's capable of winning a lot of games, a lot. This defense is great. This offense is great. And if Matt Stafford can play like he did last year, Cooper Kupp can play like he did last year, if Allen Robinson can get to that next level that he says he can get to, if Cam Akers can hold on to the ball, it'd be great with his legs. This team wins a lot of games. They go back to the playoffs, maybe even repeat. No, I'm lying. I don't know. I wouldn't say repeat right now, but they are still a favorite in my opinion to get back to that Super Bowl and probably win yet another one. Starting off the season for the Rams, you got the Bills, Thursday Night Football, Week 1, Game 1. Gotta give this one to the Rams. I think they just, they start off hot. They continue hot against a great Bills team who's probably going to win a lot of games as well. Make a deep run like they did last year. Give this one to the Rams. Falcons, Rams. I got the Rams all day. I already said the Falcons weren't going to do great. Cardinals, I'll take the Rams over this one. The Cardinals have a tendency to split the series every year with the Rams. Niners, I'll give this one to the Rams. The Niners also have, tend to split the series a little bit. Cowboys, I'll give this one to the Rams. I'm not sold on the Cowboys at all. Panthers, I'll give this one to the Rams. Starting off 6-0 going into the bye week. Then you got the Niners again. I think the Rams can get the sweep this year. I'm not positive about it, but I do think they can do it. So, I'll give this one to the Rams. Then you play the Bucks, and I'll give this one to the Buccaneers. I think the Rams get a little overconfident, and they drop a few. Then you got the Cardinals after the Bucks. I'll give this one to the Cardinals. The Cardinals do end up. I do like the Cardinals this year as well. You play New Orleans. I'll give this one to the Rams. I'm not sold on my team as well. Then you play the Chiefs. I'll give this one to the Chiefs. This was my Super Bowl pick last year, the Rams and Chiefs. So, I'd love to see how this game goes, but I think the Chiefs come down to it. Then you got the Seahawks. I'll give this one to the Rams. Then you got the Raiders. I'll also give this one to the Rams. Then you got the Packers. I'll give this one to the Packers. Aaron Rodgers usually beats the Rams every year they meet. Then you end the season with the Broncos, Chargers, and Seahawks. All three of those will be wins by the time the season ends. Realistically speaking, this team wins 13 games, only 4 losses. I don't see this team dropping below 11 wins, so I'm putting their floor at 11-6. I'm even going to put their ceiling at maybe 15-2. This team is just so good. Sean McVay is also a really great head coach. I don't see this team dropping below 11 games. It just seems impossible. I feel like they added more than they gained. They didn't draft. They gave up their picks, so they didn't even need a draft. They're going after more wins, and that's what this team is all about, is winning. So I give them 13-4 record to end the year off. Now let's take a look at the Arizona Cardinals, a team who I personally enjoy watching. There's just so much. How do I say this? I love watching them because they can go on these little runs. Like last year, they started 7-0. Yes, they did beat some bad teams in that little stretch. But you got to admit, 7-0 is still impressive for any NFL team to start a season. Granted, they ran into the Packers. A.J. Green had his whole situation. Kyler Murray, they went back and forth blaming each other on that. And then at the end of the day, the whole team lost. Rasul Douglas caught the game-winning interception. They ended their winning streak. But the Cardinals still made the playoffs and still had a chance to win the division. But they fell apart. And this is what this team does, honestly. They start strong every year. And around the time of Thanksgiving, heading into the playoffs, around December, January, this team starts to fall apart a little bit. And it's not even... I think it's just because... It's mostly because of the coaching and Kyler Murray. If you look at stats and statistics, Kyler Murray's numbers tend to drop, closer to the season, the Christmas holidays, Thanksgiving holidays, near the playoffs. And what's his name? Cliffsbury, whatever the hell his name is. Whoever the coach is, the Cardinals. He's not as good as we all say he is, but he is still a really great head coach. He did come in, change his team. I completely forgot his name, but this team is still good. Kyler Murray just got extended. Great job by the Cardinals. I feel like Kyler deserved his extension. I feel like he's done enough to earn his extension. And now it's just time to see whether or not he can go prove that he can actually get further into the playoffs before he did last year. And my whole thing with Kyler is I think the Cardinals did make Kyler out to be the scapegoat of that playoff loss to the Rams last year in the wild card. And so, I understand why he was hurt about that. But, I feel like Kyler, while he doesn't need to prove himself, I feel like he's still going to go ahead and do that anyways to show y'all why he deserves all this money that he's getting, and to show that he can be good. So I know I'm excited for that. He did lose Chase Edmonds to the Dolphins in free agency. However, I feel like James Conner is better than Chase Edmonds, so the loss wasn't even really there. James Conner went crazy last year. Scoring almost every single game, racking up yards almost every single game, catching, rushing. It was just fun to watch for James Conner. I'm proud, and I'm happy. Not even proud. I'm happy that he got a new opportunity in Arizona because in Pittsburgh he wasn't getting the love he deserved. And so I'm really happy for James Conner, and I think he'll snap again this next year. I think he'll be just fine. You're not gonna have D-Hop for the first about 6-7 weeks though. PED use. He did try to appeal it. Didn't work out in his favor, unfortunately, so gonna have to go without D-Hop for a little bit. But that's why you went and got Marquise Brown, traded your first away for him, which was a steal by the Ravens, by the way. Marquise Brown wasn't really a first, in my opinion. But now he just got put in jail for criminally speeding. That's hilarious. So we're gonna have to see how that plays out. But in the meantime, I guess you still have AJ Green. Oh man, but I really, and then you also have Zach Ertz, a really underrated tight end in my opinion. I think Zach Ertz is really, really good, and people don't really understand that for some reason. So I like Zach Ertz he's a great tight end, great pass catcher. He can run good routes. He can block really well too. So I think Kyler will be just fine, just in case anything does happen to Marquise Brown that he's not available. Let's see. J.J. Watt's coming back. Love J.J. Watt. I really hope he can stay healthy this year, because if he can, I feel like he'll be in the running for that Defensive Player of the Year award. Budda Baker and Byron Murphy, both very underrated DBs. Budda Baker should be considered, he should be in the combo for, top 10 safety almost every year. Maybe sometimes even top 5 the way he plays. He flies around, flies to the ball, goes off the handle, the rail, no matter what. And Byron Murphy's a quiet shutdown corner. He has his games, he has his moments, but there are some times where he struggles a little bit. And it was evident last year, when the Cardinals dropped to the Lions, that Packers game, it was evident. But like I said, this team is still really great and still really good to where they can make another playoff run. It's just a matter of fact of, will they go deep into the playoffs? What team will they have to play in this playoffs to give it this scenario? And it was unfortunate that they met the Rams, someone that that's familiar with how they play. And that was Kyler's first playoff game. Can't even vault. He hasn't been there before. He didn't have D-Hop. I know D-Hop didn't play that game. And I know Budda got hurt mid-game. They didn't have J.J. Watt. But there was a lot of things that went wrong at the end of the season for the Cardinals. But I figure if they can figure everything out and stay on the right track the whole season, I feel like they can get deep into the playoffs. Now, is this team a Super Bowl team? No. They definitely could be, but not in my eyes. But like I said, I feel like this team can make it far with what they have so far. Now, looking at this Arizona Cardinals schedule, you start off against the Chiefs. I'll give you a loss. Then you play the Raiders and the Rams right after. I'll give you 2 more losses. 0-3 to start off. Then you play the Panthers. I'll give you a win right here. Then you play the Eagles. I'll give you another loss. Then you play the Seahawks. I'll give you a win right here. Week 7, you play the Saints. I'll give you a loss. Week 8, the Vikings. And then Week 9 on the Seahawks, I'll give you 2 straight wins. I'll give you a win Week 10 against the Rams. You tend to split the series every year with the Rams. I think the Cardinals beat the Niners the week after. Like I said, they tend to split the series. Then you play the Chargers Week 12. I'll give this one to the Cardinals. I'll give this one to the Chargers, not the Cardinals. The Chargers. Now you're going into your bye week. You've been struggling a little bit. Then you play the Patriots. You come out with a win. Then you go to the Broncos, you come out with a win. Then you play the Bucks, I'll give this one to the Bucks. Then you play the Falcons, I'll give this one to the Cardinals. And then you end the year in San Fran, and I will give this one to the San Francisco 49ers. Realistically speaking, I only see the Cardinals winning about 9 games this year. Maybe 10. They could hit the 10 threshold, but I only see them winning about 9. I'll give their ceiling 10 wins. And the floor could be about 7. The Cardinals do tend to slip up, lose some games they should win. And so, like I said, this team really didn't do much to improve with all the, suspensions they got to go through now. There's a whole bunch of drama surrounding Kyler's contract, yada, yada, yada. So, I think there's going to be a lot of distractions. Nonetheless, I do feel like the Cardinals, if they do hit that ceiling, they could still make a deep playoff run. Now, let's take a look at really a dark horse team every year, and that's the 49ers. This team, sneaky good. Really, really sneaky good. And the thing is about this team is that they're like they can make the playoffs with a 9-8 record almost every year because the NFC is a little weak this year. It's been weak for the past few years. You see the same teams consistently go to the playoffs. That being the Packers, the Bucks, and the 49ers are one of those teams that can make the playoffs consistently with a 9-8 record like they have been. And let's not forget this team is what 2 years removed from the Super Bowl, a Jimmy G Super Bowl. So, that's big for them. And the 49ers win that Super Bowl if Jimmy G doesn't overthrow Emmanuel Sanders on what could have been their final drive, But as I was saying, this team has the ability to make the playoffs every year, and that starts now with Deebo Samuel. Just barely re-signed, like, a few weeks ago, because it took me a while to come back and finish this vid. But Deebo, that's your guy right there. He can do everything on the field. I know his contract got incentives for rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, receiving yards. Seems like Mr. Do It All, basically. And let's not forget about Brandon Ayuk, a sleeper wide receiver this year. Everybody's gonna be focused on Deebo. Not many people are gonna be focused on Brandon Ayuk, who is amazing. I love watching this guy play. He's so fast. He's so quick. Gets in and out of his cuts great. You know, I'm really, Elijah Mitchell was really good. Good rookie running back last year. I think he has potential to be RB1 in the 49ers RB committee. They don't have a set starter yet. But of course, you have George Kittle, one of a top 3 tight end in the league. I'm gonna say top 2 because he is a top 2 tight end. So if he could stay healthy, the 49ers can dangerous. And of course, you got a rookie, not a rookie QB. You got a second-year QB in Trey Lance. He's gonna be coming in as a starter. They openly came out and said Trey Lance will start for this 49ers squad. And it's just, I'm a big believer in Trey Lance. I took him in fantasy. If you haven't watched the LPC fantasy draft, go watch that. I've loved Trey Lance. I love the way he played at North Dakota State. I think he'll be great on this 49ers offense. He's bound to make some mistakes. He wasn't thrown into the fire right away, but this is his year to prove, why he was taken so high in the draft a few years ago. And, behind that offensive line for the Niners and it's Trent Williams, probably the best offensive lineman in the league right now. He's big. Trent Williams, he's fast too. That's the scary part. He can pull. He can get into a pull block fast. He's big. He's strong. He can run dudes over. He can make plays for the running back. For Trey Lance, he's going to be great. I think this offense will work really well. And you just don't get the best. There's never been an offensive lineman that's ranked 99 in Madden. And Trent Williams is the first to do that. And if that doesn't tell you anything, it's honestly crazy to me. But with this, the defense, now let's talk about the defense. You got probably the best middle linebacker in Fred Warner leading this defense. Fred Warner is probably the best if not the best linebacker in the league right now. Quick, fast, can make plays on the ball, can stop the run, get in the backfield, get a sack. One of the best linebackers, if not the best linebacker in the league. You got Eric Armstead coming off the edge. Very good pass rusher. I like what he does. I like what he did last year for this team. But the secondary is a little, on the other side of things. You got, you lost Jaquiski Tart, but then you had Chardavius Ward, got Jimmy Ward back there still. There was a few more additions I can't name off the top of my head right now. But I feel like this Niners team is very, very sneaky good still. They can make plays. They can beat teams they're not supposed to beat. They can get into the playoffs with a 9-8 record. It's just, there's a lot of things about this team. And it now starts with Kyle Shanahan. He's so good. And he's a great coach. He can lead this team. There was a lot of holes in this team last year. A lot of injuries. They faced a lot of deficits. But they still ended up going to the NFC Championship and were one drive away from the Super Bowl. And that's where I say it all begins with the coaching and that team chemistry. And like I said, this 49ers team has a lot of that. So, let's just, and the whole Jimmy G situation, I do believe that they should keep him instead of trading him or cutting him just for some of the fact that, what if Trey Lance goes down or, what if Trey Lance begins to struggle? You need to put somebody else in there to save the game or whatever, something like that. But, at the end of the day, this team will be great. They'll be good. And I think they'll probably end up sneaking to the playoffs again this year. Now let's take a look at the 49ers upcoming schedule for this next season, starting off week 1. And with the Bears, I see the Niners grabbing this win. Then you have week 2 against the Seahawks. I see the Seahawks taking this. I see the Niners taking this game. I'm sorry. No, week 3 against the Broncos. I see the Broncos winning this one, so the Niners will take their first L there. Week 4 against the Rams, I say that's another L. Week 5 against the Panthers, I'll give the Niners a win right here. Week 6 against the Falcons, I think I gave the Niners the win on this one. So we'll go with that. Against the Chiefs in week 7, I'll give the Niners a loss. Week 8 against the Rams again, I'll give this one to the Rams because I think I did say in the Rams portion that the Rams would end up taking both games this year. Usually they split. Then you have your bye week. You come out, you play the Chargers. I'll give the Chargers the win here. You play the Cardinals. I think I gave this one to the Niners. The Cardinals and Niners tend to split every year. Give this one to the Niners. You got week 12 against the Saints. I did say the Saints would win this one. Week 13 against the Dolphins. I have the Dolphins winning this one. Week 14 against the Bucks. I have the Bucks winning this one. You got week 15 against the Seahawks again. I got the Niners. Then you have Washington. I have the Niners. You got the Raiders week 17. I'll give this one to the Niners. And then you end the season off by playing the Cardinals, which you take the win. Or take the loss. One of the two. Like I said, it's 1-1 each way. Realistically speaking, I see this team going 8-9, and not just because they're a bad team, it's because of how their schedule stacks up against them. Their schedule, no, their schedule isn't in their favor this year. The teams they play, so they're not going to go 8-9 because of how good their team is or how bad the Niners team is. It's because of how their schedule stacks up. Realistically, like I said, 8-9. I do think this team could be a 10-win team. The ceiling is 10 wins. Maybe there could be some games this Niner team sneaks out that they're not supposed to, like against the Rams. Maybe they beat the Cardinals twice this year. Like I said, they tend to split. But the floor looks like a 6-11 season. So like I said, I do believe in Trey Lance. I do believe in this Niners team, but it does look like their schedule isn't against them this year. But like I said, this team can surprise a lot of people and will probably somehow still find a way to make the playoffs. And now for the final team of this video for the NFC West, we have the Seattle Seahawks. You know what? Nobody's excited about this team though. But you can't really blame them. First of all, you lose Russell Wilson, you lost Bobby Wagner, and you lost Chris Carson all in the same offseason. Traded Russell Wilson to Denver. Granted, the Seahawks looking to restart, rebuild. Russell Wilson gave him possibly the best years of this team's life. Shout out to Russell Wilson. Hate him. He always beat the Saints, but he'll forever be a Seahawks legend. Got rid of Bobby Wagner, a top 2 linebacker in this league. Granted, he's probably not top 2 anymore. He is up there in age. But if he plays anything like how he used to play this upcoming season, he's still top 2. That was a big loss on defense, and unfortunately Chris Carson did have to retire due to neck injuries and concerns. So that's a big loss for this team. But it's just now it's looking like Seahawks fans are looking at who's gonna start, Geno Smith or Drew Lock, and really you can't really get excited for either. Geno Smith has a history of playing terribly in this league. Can't blame him though. He was on the Jets, but played decent last year when Wilson did go down with an injury. So and then Drew Lock, he was on the Broncos, didn't play the best over there. He had a few weapons here and there, but never really played good. I'm trying to avoid slandering Drew Lock because all you Drew Lock stands out there. But like I said, it's real. Like it's a reality check for Seahawks fans everywhere. One minute you're watching Russell Wilson lead your team to a Super Bowl win, and then go back to another Super Bowl. And now you're like, who's going to start for this team, Geno Smith or Drew Lock? But, you get back Jamal Adams this year, he was hurt. I think most of the year last year, I think he was hurt. Didn't play very well these past few seasons. So, and granted, he's one of the best DBs that can blitz. He's a blitzing DB. That's what he is. And, I know everybody gives him shit for it, blitz boy. But at the end of the day, he's really good safety. He can play inside the box. He can play. Literally, he's a defensive player. He doesn't have one set position. It's like Isaiah Simmons. There's not one set position for this man because he can play almost everywhere. Quandre Diggs coming back. He's really good for that defense as well. I think he was also hurt quite a bit last year. Missed a few games. So him coming back will also help this team a lot. And then you had Kobe Bryant out of Cincinnati. I thought he was a really good corner last year with Cincinnati. Took them to the college football playoff. Didn't go, didn't boat as well as they thought, but he'll be a great young addition to that defense. who they struggled last year a little bit. So getting a good young corner who will show out, I believe, that's good for them. And then offensively, who's gonna get the ball to DK and Lockett? That's the whole Drew Lock, Geno Smith. DK is one of the better wide receivers in this league. Tyler Lockett's one of the better deep threats in this league. Both can do damage. And there's, like I said, it just depends on who starts for this team. The whole offensive line is terrible. You added Charles Cross in the first round of this past draft, but like, what are you gonna do about the rest of the offensive line? And if you can't keep your quarterbacks protected, they're gonna end up getting hurt. That's the whole reason Russ left, because of the old line. He was hurt last year because he kept getting hit. And I don't see much improvement with the O line other than Charles Cross, and we haven't even seen him really play a snap yet. But when I'm recording this, the Seahawks haven't even played a preseason game yet, so we don't know. But then you draft Kenneth Walker because it seemed like Chris Carson was gonna be forced to retire earlier on before the draft. So you went out and got Kenneth Walker, I believe, in the second, which was really good for this team. If he can come in and get some great runs in, I think he'll be this team's RB1. I do, because they still do have Rashad Penny. So we'll see how it all bodes. But like I said, there's really nothing to be excited about this team. There's a lot of what ifs. What if this happens? So I guess in the end, we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out. Let's now take a look at the Seahawks schedule for the upcoming season. You're starting off week 1 against the Broncos. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, Russell Wilson revenge game. Give it to the Broncos. I just don't see the Seahawks winning this one. Week 2, you got the Niners. I don't see the Seahawks winning this one. I'll give it to the Niners. Week 3, I think the Falcons win this one. You got Lions week 4. I say the Lions win this one. You got week 5 against the Saints. I say the Saints win this one. Week 6 against the Cardinals. I do see the Cardinals winning this one. Week 7 against the Chargers. I see the Chargers taking this one. Week 8 against the Giants. I see the Seahawks winning this one right here. Week 9. I have the Seahawks winning against the Cardinals week 9. Cardinals, tend to slip up every now and then when they lose a game when they should win. Either way, I think the Cardinals, it can go back and forth, but that's just my opinion. And then you got week 10 against the Bucks. That's another loss. Then you're on a bye week, week 11. Come back out of the bye, you play the Raiders week 12. That's another loss. Week 13 against the Rams, another loss. Week 14 against the Panthers. I'm not sure if I gave the Panthers the win on this one in the NFC South video. I don't remember correctly. This one could go either way, but I think I'll give this one to the Panthers. The Niners, I'll give this one against the Niners. I'll give this one to the Niners. Then you play the Chiefs. I'll give this one to the Chiefs. Play the Jets. I'll give this one to the Seahawks. And then you play the Rams to close out the year, and I'll give this one to the Rams. Realistically speaking, I only see the Seahawks team going 2-15. I know I said I gave them 3 wins when I was just looking at their record here in a minute, but after going back and looking at it, I only see them winning about 2 games. Maybe they hit 4. That's their ceiling, 4 wins. Maybe then their floor is 1 win. I don't see any team going 0-17, but realistically speaking, this Seahawks team is not good anymore. They have a lot of holes they need to fill, and a 2-15 record just seems to be in order this next year. I want to thank you for tuning in to watch another of my videos to my 10 viewers every day. Tune in tomorrow. You'll see another your weekly out of context video. I think this will be part 20. And then tomorrow you'll also see the AFC West video. So tune in then, and I'll see y'all later.
Blood don't make you kinfolk. Loyalty is what I send for. No half stepping, only 10 toes. Now life is at a different tempo.